Hey guys, it's Roger, PRW Chassis, Performance and Racing Warehouse. Got episode 3 coming at you. Fast 15 on Fridays, something we've been doing, short little 15-minute interviews with people. We got Annabeth Barnes-Crum on today. These guys are in the back with snowboards. See them right there? There they are. They're shaking their snowboards at us. It's awesome. Yeah, check it out. Hope you guys like it. She talks a lot about different things in her career, different ways she was able to succeed, and let us know what you think. Thanks. All right, well, welcome back. This is another Fast 15 that we're doing every Friday. This is episode 3 with Annabeth Barnes-Crum. Jake's sitting out in the parking lot. We wouldn't let him come in, so she's here. Thanks for coming in. I'm glad you came.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Heck yeah, this is just something, a little recap. You know, it's something we're trying to do every Friday. Fast 15 minutes, get you interviewed, get you figured out who she's doing. Maybe you want to help her. Maybe there's something else you can do for her, she can do for you, hooking people up, right? It's great. She won a race last year, did pretty good. Has had a unlimited amount of work go into your deal from a family perspective, from multiple facets of your whole group chiming in, all your people on the outside that have also come, sponsors on board. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks.
What are you gonna do this year?
So, we're gonna race next week at Dillon.
Yeah.
Really excited about that in the Carolina Pro Late Model Series.
Yeah.
Never done that before. Never.
Supercar.
Yeah, the first time in the car was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
who's super? Is it
what?
one Jake had? Who's super?
No, we
super?
bought it from. Well, Jake raced it before at
Nice.
Bristol.
Okay, perfect.
But it was Jamie's car.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, we're really excited about that. I'm a little nervous about that because
Really?
it's brand new. I've never been to Dillon before. They're not doing practice day on Friday. So we're just going. It's going to be a car I've never raced, a track I've never been to, and we're just going to do it, which the practice went really well on Tuesday. I was pleasantly surprised because my confidence wasn't very high.
Really? That's
I was just not feeling, because we've never done it before.
Sure.
Darren's never worked on one
Sure,
before.
sure.
We're like,
Darren is her dad.
to tell you,
just
Darren.
so you know, Darren is her dad.
To tell you how unprepared we were, on Tuesday, I had to, after trying to get it in reverse for like 20 minutes, I had to call Jake and ask him.
Ooh, that was humbling.
I did it. Oh, it was awful. My dad was like, "Did you not know how to do this?" I'm like, "Do you not know how to do this?"
Wow.
I've never, because it's a 3-speed. I didn't know.
Sure.
I didn't know.
Sure.
Anyway. So, but I'm really excited. It went after we got it in gear. Went super well.
That's good.
It was super duper. And I'm excited to race. I'm excited to go to Dillon.
My gosh, always a bundle of joy here. This one, she's always on the rev chip. Speaking of that, let's bring Jake into it a little bit. Like, what's it like racing against him or racing with him? I mean, is this great? Is this sometimes you want to rip your hair out? What's it like? Because he's a competitor, right? Like, this guy don't like to lose.
Yeah. I hate it. I really don't like it. I don't recommend it for any successful marriage. But we knew going in that was going to be a thing. I've known him forever, but when we started like talking, we were at Martinsville. We were both racing, and so it wasn't something initially I was like, I'm going to date him and we're going to race.
Right, that's what we're going to do. Right.
And it just kind of happened. So it's not super fun. I don't love it.
Sometimes it's not super fun.
There's been times when it's been really hard. Like a few years ago when he was on the pole at Martinsville. That was really bad, which he was like given the pole. Like I had to make sure he knew that because the top 2 guys got thrown out.
Yeah,
so he was just came into the pole.
Oh, wow.
And I was so salty. I hated every minute of that.
Wow.
I hated that. Like we got back, slept in different beds.
Wait, good.
It was a whole thing.
Wow.
We like didn't speak to each other.
That's
he was like, "Why can't you just be happy for me?" I'm like, "Am I gonna be happy for anyone else who would? Like, am I gonna go up to Josh Berry and be like, I'm so happy for you?"
Wow.
Like, no, it's the same thing in my eyes. Now I've grown since then. I've grown since then.
Yeah, good.
I've matured since then.
Good.
And so we raced together a couple times last season, and it was fun. It was like,
good.
you know, you just,
Yeah.
I had to I had to get over that.
David
Had to do some
Stremme
growth.
told me one time that he would wreck his mom to win a race, and I think he did, right? Like up north in Indiana. I believe, don't quote me on that, but I believe he wrecked his mom one time to win a race. And I would that's a question that I've always wanted to ask you. Would you turn him? Would come
For
into the
sure.
checker,
And
you would
but
turn
he
him.
would me.
He would too, you.
For
yes.
sure.
Okay. Now, listen, as long as the rules are
No,
defined, I think
definitely.
that's great.
No, he would. I would. Like last season, one of the races we ran together, we ran side by side forever, and I knew he was faster than me. He for sure was. He had a better car. I knew he did, but I would not let it go.
Just kept
It was like
pinching him
it's
on the
not happening.
That's awesome.
And someone made the comment. They were like, "That was behind us at that time." Was like, "Why? I don't understand. Like that was ridiculous." And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
No.
Wasn't gonna
Right
let
on
it go.
Right.
But it's hard because you almost race that person harder.
Sure.
Because you have to go home and you don't.
No,
It's complicated.
I can understand.
It's complicated,
I
but
can
for
understand.
sure we would wreck each other.
Yeah.
At any given moment.
Listen. I can understand. That's awesome. I couldn't. I don't have anything to say about it. As far as like I think it's great that you guys are that honest with each other, that you would say, listen, I'm here to win the races, and
Well,
that's
yeah,
the end of the
and
game.
that's who we are.
Sure.
Like each individually as
Sure.
people, and I think that's something that works for us being married, because that's a reason why we're married, is because we are both that way. We love each other for that.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult when it's about one another.
For sure.
But it's something that, like, our love for the sport and our love for competing, that's something that, like, that's why we jive,
Yeah. Something I think that you do extremely well, your family unit does extremely well, is you guys have really done great ever since the time I first met you in procuring sponsorship. And I think in a time where so many young people struggle, right? It's not like you guys didn't scrap and scrape and save and dig, but you've interestingly enough, year over year over year, you've always been able to kind of build this great group of people around you that have been beneficial. And I think that's one thing that you're super underrated for. I think.
Thanks.
No, I mean it,
No,
honestly.
I appreciate that.
I just seeing since, the last 11 years or 12 years, whatever, I've seen, your family team kind of go through its struggles, its goods, its bads, it's, just life. And I'm always fascinated, and I don't think a lot of people know this, as to how much help you actually are able to get to be able to do what you do. And I think that's in a time where that's what 90% of the people are complaining, that they
Right.
can't get any help.
That's something that from the time I raced in go-karts, like my family, we don't come from a lot of money.
Sure,
Like we're
that's what I want
normal-
people to know.
Normal family.
Yeah,
like
sure.
grew up a normal life. My mom, for 30 years, worked in a furniture factory as a cloth cutter. And my dad worked at my grandpa's shop as a mechanic.
Really?
Like we're normal people.
Right.
And so from the time I started racing in go-karts, we had to have sponsors. Like
Sure.
I was literally racing go-karts with like Lake Norman propane, like on the
Right,
side.
trying
like,
to do whatever.
Always had
Sure.
to have, because it was necessary.
Sure.
And when I was younger, it almost seemed like it came a little bit easier because we were very successful, like racing go-karts, and like that was interesting because I was a female.
Sure.
So people were like, "Oh yeah, like this is
Right.
great." So we were blessed enough to have like our go-karts through Ultramax, like that was all free, and it was a
Right.
factory deal, and
Nice.
that was cool. And then we got into like the Drive for Diversity stuff, and in the beginning they just paid for my racing. They were like,
Right.
"Send us a bill, we're gonna pay for it."
Awesome.
And like again, that was just really lucky for us.
Sure.
And then we did things that helped along the way. Like we had that little Racing Dreams movie, and
Yes.
that was a huge deal, if for nothing else but to put your name out into
Right.
the world and be like, hey, like this is me, this is, and that was really helpful. And then that brought along things from like Insignia and different Best Buy and things like that when I was younger. And then
See, I don't think people know a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff. That's why I wanted to
Yeah.
get a lot of this out. I don't think a lot of these young people know that there was a reality series
so then
based around her. It was amazing. The whole thing.
Right.
They would come and film. They were
and then
great.
that's how we ended up with, through that, the guy that produced that show then kind of helped us out for a little while, like trying to find sponsors.
Sure.
And then he actually went to high school with Kim, who owns the car we race
Oh,
now.
nice.
And it was just a by chance, like, hey, like this woman I know that I went to high school with, she loves racing. You should just meet her. And we met her.
And she was local?
Yeah,
right?
local to Matthews.
Great.
And we met them literally just to be like, hey, like you like racing and we're into racing. And then next thing you know, it's like 10 years later.
Right.
And we're, still working together. But before that, it was just literally going to a million different businesses in Hickory or wherever we were going to be racing and saying like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I've done. And a big part of that is that kids, say kids, like I'm so old, but a lot of kids today they can't talk to people.
For sure.
And that's so sad. Like even like I have kids and they're so socially awkward.
Right.
Like,
sure.
But the way I was raised in doing the film and doing the TV show and all that is I had no other choice. You have to like.
If you wanted to race,
if I wanted to
have
race,
to do this.
Exactly.
Right. And
I had to learn how to speak to people, and it couldn't be my mom and dad.
Right.
It couldn't be an agent. It had to be me.
Right.
Because me's the only thing that I had that was like am I a pretty good driver? Sure.
But they would give you money for if you communicate.
Because I think a lot of times in my career, it's been more that like we really like you.
Yes.
We like who you are.
Your brand itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've been so lucky and blessed. And like Kim and Scott at Scott McCorkle's Liberty Buick GMC, like they are amazing.
They are great people.
But it's not even, they love racing,
right.
but they love me.
Right.
And like I love them and they love my family
right.
and I love their family. And you don't see that a lot anymore.
Sure.
I feel like so many times now it's just like a business decision.
Right.
But it's a legit like family. They are my family.
Sure.
And my family is their family. And so it's been like we're just really lucky to have had that relationship.
We're not having technical difficulties. It's just pouring rain on the roof. It's awesome.
Yikes.
It's awesome. So I'm glad that we got through that. I really want people to, especially young people, men or women, I want them to reach out or to search back through what you did. I think you were really undervalued in that. I think from some smaller town people that had your dad works his hind end off at all hours of the day and night on these cars trying to do it. As things have progressed, he's got some help, but for a long time it was him kind of tried to do a lot of it himself. Your mom is a nice lady. She works a normal job. They opened a restaurant, I think, up there now. So it's anybody that's ever worked at a restaurant or owned a restaurant knows that there's not billions of dollars flying through there, especially in a pandemic when
and
people can't go.
It's so easy for people to look from the outside in and be like, oh, they've got a lot of money. Because I do it too.
Sure.
You see somebody coming in and they've got nice cars and nice things and they've got sponsors and you're like, oh, they've got a lot of money.
Sure.
We all do it. But that's not our case.
I just like the fact that you are willing, and this is my advice to a lot of young people, and I give it often, is you are willing to put yourself out there. I think a lot of people are maybe too insecure to be able to do that 1v1, but that's a great part about the internet. If you kind of are a little socially awkward, I see it with my son, who's a little bit older, right? He's in that transition zone between us, and he deals better on the computer with dealing with folks, and he's able to solve some problems that way. But the key is that you have to put yourself out there to the point where people are going to talk crap about you. People are going to do whatever. But who cares? That you're not going to get anywhere if you don't make an attempt to try to create some of that interaction.
If you don't ask, it's always going to be no. It's always going to be
I like the fact that you also said about your brand. It's not about, I think so many dads, I think that was a great point. So many dads believe that they're just one win away from getting that thing that they need to. And I have been preaching to some dads that I talk to on the West Coast that are just friends that we've raced quarter midgets and stuff with. It's not about that. It's about building the brand, building the infrastructure behind it. So then when you get those opportunities to win those big races, then you capitalize, right?
Exactly, because it's so important, and me and Jake have this conversation all the time, because Jake is more that mindset. Like, if I could just get into this car, if I could get into this truck, and I can get this win, I can show everybody, and I'm going to get sponsorship. And that's fine, because that's the way he was raised, like, with that mentality.
That's what he does,
But I say to him all the time, like, as far as females go, I think I'm a very good driver. As far as females go, I hate to say that. I hate to be put in a box, but naturally I'm put in a box. So as far as females go, like, I'm real good. Like phenomenal. As far as like all drivers go, I'm pretty good. Like pretty good. Like depends on, whatever. Pretty good driver, but I can speak so well.
Right.
And I'm
That's
okay
your
with
asset.
saying that.
Sure.
That's my thing.
Sure.
And I'm like pretty good looking, and
She's on it today.
people like me.
Yeah.
And
you're a likable person.
well, thanks.
You have a great personality. You're a likable person.
But that's my in.
Sure.
That's and I don't. I obviously like it's the racing that I love.
Right.
But you have to lean on these other things to get to what you
I think
actually
it's a
want.
Great piece of advice. Great piece of advice.
Thanks.
We keep these things to 15 minutes. We got a couple minutes left. I really want to put you through the lightning round.
Okay.
This is something that we do. You just tell us which one you think. If you got a little comment to add to it, great.
Okay.
Are you a AR or 5-star bodies?
5-star.
5-star, all right.
Is that even true?
You run the old. Do you like the old body or the new bodies? You don't even know if it's true. Right? Do you like the look of the old body or the new body?
I like the look of the new bodies,
the look
but
of the
we
new
can't
bodies.
afford that, so
I
we got the old bodies.
Big tracks or short tracks?
I like big tracks better.
Big tracks where? What's big track?
Motor Mile would be one favorite.
All right.
That would be my favorite.
Biggest wreck?
Oh gosh. Probably when Piercy ended up on my roof at
Oh,
Hickory
yeah, I forgot
several
about
years
that.
ago.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
a
a big one.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. That was a good one. Best racing moment?
Probably my win this past year at
Yeah.
Hickory.
She's going to take that Liberty Buick GMC truck, Mount Airy Toyota, Granite Collision Center car to victory lane. Annabeth Barnes-Crum, a winner in late model competition here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
That was a good one. Kids weren't there.
Oh, no, that's right. Jake
Yeah,
had the
none
kids.
of my kids were
That's right,
there.
Jake had the kids.
Jake wasn't there.
I forgot about that.
Not that added to the good moment, but it was just
Right.
we've worked so hard.
Sure.
We've worked so hard, so to get that moment was awesome.
And for those people that have helped you, right?
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
favorite superhero?
I don't do superheroes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Favorite thing on your pizza?
Let's see. I like chicken and pineapple.
Nice.
That's
Last
weird.
one.
Okay.
Do you have any good hidden talents that we should know about?
Oh. I'm a very good cook, exceptional cook.
Exceptional cook.
And also I can ride a unicycle.
And she can ride a unicycle. That does it, folks. This is Fast 15. We're doing this every Friday. I hope you like it. Share it with somebody else that might like it. Annabeth Barnes-Crum, come in. She can help you in any way, I'm sure. She'd be more than welcome. She does a really good job at the sponsorship deal. Really great job marketing and mentoring. Probably reach out to her. Maybe you can help her. Maybe you liked what you saw and want to give her a couple $100
Really
grand. She
nice.
could ARCA race or something.
So nice.
Let's go, right? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Have a great day.